One of the things that we learned was what happened to those 4 schools that we featured in Whatever It Takes. All of them had undergone significant changes in leadership. Every school had principals come and go, superintendents had come and gone, and yet every one of those schools showed dramatic gains between 2004 and 2009, even though they were already exemplary schools in 2004. So that issue of, is the continuous improvement sustainable, was definitely answered in our review of those 4 schools that we featured in Whatever It Takes. Another thing that we learned is that this can be done district-wide in terms of implementing the PLC concept and building systems of intervention, as opposed to doing it in a single school. The first book really focused on how this happens at the school site and talked about 4 very different schools. In addition to addressing many schools, we also address how 3 very different districts, different demographically, different in terms of geography, different in virtually every way, were able to implement the PLC concept and build systems of intervention in schools throughout the district in ways that benefited students, not in a school here or there, but in virtually every single school of the district. So we were really encouraged to see the continuous improvement of schools that had been successful in the past. We were thrilled to find a number of additional schools and to tell their stories of unbelievable gains in student achievement, and very excited to see that this can be done district-wide and not merely at a school site. Right now, teachers are being called upon to do something that's never been done before in the history of this country. That is, they're supposed to help all kids learn at high levels. That was not the traditional purpose of schooling in the United States. Schools were specifically designed to sort and select students, and if student achievement fell along a bell-shaped curve, then the system was working, and we could send some kids on to higher ed and other kids on to other ventures. But now, for the first time in the history of the country, teachers are being asked to do something that's never been done before here or in any other country, and that is help all kids learn at higher levels. If they're going to succeed in doing that, we have to help them in 2 different ways. One way is to give them the information they need to see how they can become more effective. And we think that the best way to do that is to put them on collaborative teams where they work with colleagues and they can gather information from common formative assessments that the teams themselves have created that will enable a teacher to see that I teach this skill particularly well compared to my colleagues, and I can share my insights with my colleagues so they can become more proficient. But here's a skill that I don't teach well. If we're going to improve, all of us need 2 things. We need information, here's how to improve, and we need support. And in a traditional school, those are the 2 things teachers don't get. You can work your entire career and not know if a teacher next to you is teaching the skill better or worse than you. But in a learning community, because of the focus on working collaboratively, working in teams, and common formative assessments, you do get that information. You'll learn what you're teaching well and what you're not teaching well, and then you'll have the support of other people on your team and people throughout the district and organization to help you address those areas where you're not doing well. So if we're going to meet the challenges, we have to help teachers continuously improve. And if they're going to improve, they need information and support. Learning communities give them that. We also need to recognize that the responsibility for student learning has to extend beyond an individual teacher's classroom. That the school has to take a collective responsibility in helping all kids learn. And so if a student is struggling after a teacher has taught a unit the best way they know how, the school has to have a plan for giving that student additional time, additional support, different ways of learning that material, and to provide that in a timely and directive and systematic way. And so we think that the ideas that are presented in raising the bar are going to help teachers address the tremendous demands that are being placed upon them. We don't think that the idea of a learning community and the concepts that we endorse should be used to evaluate teachers and to rank and rate teachers on the basis of effectiveness because kids do well or don't do well on a particular test. That's not the point. If there are 4 teachers who give a test in any school, if they give the same test, one of them will get the best results, one of them will get the worst. That doesn't mean the person who got the worst results isn't an effective teacher. They could be working on a team with extraordinarily effective teachers. So we would not advocate that our ideas are used to rank and rate and evaluate teachers, but we think they're powerful ideas to improve teaching.